Guys, what's up? It's your battery here. Today I'm gonna be discussing something extremely controversial, so please do not abuse me because this is like my personal opinion, and I believe that we are allowed to say whatever we feel like saying. So kind of refrain from commenting extremely abusive stuff. I know there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna disagree with me largely, but this video kind of tries to look at the other side of the matter. So this side is not very well received in the world. So I just took a huge risk in starting my vlogging career with a video like this. Okay, and there's a very high chance that I'm gonna be murdered in public. Okay, anyway, so today's video is about what is not so good about Harry Potter, and first of all, let me make this clear. Even 1.5 years back, I'm like 16 now. Even when I was like 14 and a half, Harry Potter was like the book for me, the book series, and it got like amazing, um, you know, so I was like, I used to go to this cinema halls with like this Harry Potter films coming out and everything, and I used to verbally abuse anyone saying anything even minutely negative about Harry Potter, and it was such an obsession for me that I reread the books at least thrice, all of the books. And maybe that was one thing which I shouldn't have done, which may have contributed to this video right now. So when I was like about 14 and a half, I wasn't much acquainted with the other series other than kind of Percy Jackson and Narnia, and I had just begun reading Lord of the Rings, and so Harry Potter was probably the entire realm of fantasy for me. But like when I grew as a reader, that's what I like to say, grew as a reader. So I noticed that Harry Potter wasn't really all that fancy. It had aspects which a lot of books had, and although it deserves everything that it gets right now, it deserves all the credits, all the hype that's going on. But what you know I feel isn't just is that a lot of books which are of the same potential are not appreciated this much, and I don't really understand why. Okay, so yeah, maybe I do understand a bit, but I don't. This is like an extremity which shouldn't go this far, Okay, but I'm going ahead of myself, so let me explain. So first of all, when I was 14 and a half, I started watching Naruto, and Naruto was one thing I became like immediately obsessed with. Um, and Harry Potter and Naruto went side by side. But then when this Shippuden manga started, like I think it started way back, but I started reading it then. Then I realized something. The characters are so well developed. you know I can't even explain how well developed every of Naruto's characters are. Everyone has a backstory, everyone has a reason for what they're doing, and you kind of don't see that in Harry Potter. I mean, you see that in a lot of characters, but not in every character as in Naruto. I guess this has a lot to do with the spectrum, as in Naruto is a weekly manga and it has a lot of space in which it can expand to. It can expand sideways, it can expand forwards, it can expand you know in 3D, like up and down. It can become a whole structure, while Harry Potter has to stick to a plot. So I guess I can't really blame Harry Potter for that. But again, it after this entire Naruto obsession thing, I kind of started drifting away from the characters of Harry Potter. For example, when Asuma died in Naruto, I literally had a tough time coping with my own life. I cried for like several hours and everything. And then, like, one morning, I woke up and I thought I did so much for Asuma's death. And compared to that, when Dumbledore died, I just flipped over. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I should have like cried and like pondered over the matter for like ages because Dumbledore was one of the characters I adored the most in the entire series. Uh, but I don't know. It's just something did not just hit me in the right place. So it just kind of drifted without having that much of an impact. So plus, when I read Lord of the Rings, something really hurt me. Okay, J.K. Rowling really um, stubbornly agrees to the like sticks to the fact that she didn't have any like primary source of inspiration for Harry Potter, but a lot of the aspects which go throughout Harry Potter are borrowed from Lord of the Rings. Mm, like for example, this Harry's scar and the entire thing that Voldemort communicating with him, he reading Voldemort's thoughts. This entire thing is kind of there in Lord of the Rings in like Frodo's this injury he receives from Sauron, which Sauron used to torment him and like communicate with him, and it's exactly like Harry's wound. I mean, if you put them side by side, you'd think that it was written by the same author. It is that similar. Okay, and then there are these names and their basic functions like wait a second, like there's this battle in the backshot which is sounds kind of like backshot row of Lord of the Rings. Then Butterbeer, which is basically a copy of Butterbur from Lord of the Rings. Wormtongue again is a character from Lord of the Rings. Wormtail, Longbottom Leaf, Navy Longbottom, Old Man Willow, Humping Willow, and Galadriel. Galadriel, what's it called? Anyway, the Pensieve is the copy of Galadriel's mirror, and okay, so these are some of the stuff I remember right now. Um, Other than that, I guess there is a couple of other stuff. Okay, sorry, I don't remember that again. So it kind of offended me. I don't know why, because um, when you have so much trust in something and then you find out that it isn't like absolutely original, and it kind of disheartens you. Maybe it wouldn't have that much of an impact if J.K. Rowling had you know stated somewhere that Lord of the Rings had acted as a source of inspiration, but she doesn't. She doesn't. Okay, so that's another thing. Another thing which I noticed like quite recently when I was researching on literary devices was Harry Potter is the epitome of a series which relies on Deus Ex Machina. Um, this is like largely Wikipedia's fault because after reading this article and reading examples from Harry Potter, I started really feeling sorry for not realizing it earlier, and I kind of felt guilty for considering Harry Potter's story as like pitch perfect. um, it appears as if it's not. I'll explain why. First of all, most of the problem Harry encounters are solved unexpectedly, by elements never before introduced in the book, and this is kind of cheating in literature. It's called a Deus Ex Machina, and it was started, by the Romans who believed that gods interfered in their life, and whenever everything went wrong, the gods would just hop in. Sorry, hop in and make everything perfect. like although people will argue that Harry Potter is about magic and magic can make everything perfect like the gods, but this is kind of like ridiculous. I'll tell you why. See, in Philosopher's Stone, you know this Harry is saved by this love, this love spell which his mother accidentally passed on to him, and um, uh, what's that guy called? This professor who was um, carrying Voldemort's soul. Um, uh, uh, just wait a sec. Um, hello. Okay, anyway, this guy he just gets burned by this love spell, and then again in Chamber of Secrets, Harry defeats the Phoenix. No, sorry, Harry defeats the Basilisk with the help of the Phoenix, and it's just kind of not fair because Harry doesn't have a chance of like surviving, and then suddenly something miraculous happens and he's just saved. It just feels as if he's a lucky guy with a lot of luck, and uh, so it's not something of like extreme inspiration, because it's just luck that saves him all the time. Not like all the time as in like people will get mad at this, but like at the end, like it appears as if in every book he is saved by luck. uh Goblet of Fire is a big example of this. Voldemort just overpowers him and is about to finish him off. Suddenly there's this uh oh, what is this, some, okay, I have forgotten this much in like 1.5 years. um Wait a second. So it's this a priori incantatem. Yeah, priori incantatem. So it's like this, Voldemort is about to finish him off and he just does an Expelliarmus, and then there's this weird uh, weird um, situation that arises from the priori incantatem, something never mentioned before in the book. And this is a Deus Ex Machina. If this hadn't been there, Harry would have been dead, like absolutely dead. So it's kind of unfair that always luck favors Harry and not the others who are like just killed, you know. Okay, I guess that's the unfair advantage you have when you're the protagonist. But then again, and say Deathly Hallows, the ending is again a Deus Ex Machina. We No, actually not. Deathly Hallows, some parts of it are Deus Ex Machina, but not the ending. The Hallows and the Horcruxes, that's where I introduced like quite late. They formed the Deus Ex Machina. Like Voldemort's supposed in invincibility is a reason of the Horcruxes, which have never been mentioned before, and most of the Horcruxes are just in Horcrux, like in Hogwarts. So how is it possible that Voldemort had knowledge in sorry Dumbledore had knowledge of the Horcruxes, but did not look for the Horcruxes and left it for Harry? I think that's kind of the question mark. Plus, then there's the Deathly Hallows, which are part of the central theme of Deathly Hallows again, but they have never been mentioned in any of the 7 books, like any of the 6 prior books. So, if they were this important, she could have just at least hinted it sometime before, so that it doesn't appear as if she's just introducing stuff to, just join the webs that are like loose. um so I guess no series is like perfect, but this in no way means that I am not fond of Harry Potter anymore. In fact, Harry Potter is still like among my top 5 fantasy series ever, and I'll try to maintain that position. Try not to read too much of good stuff. yep, Harry, I'm that loyal to you. Even if I make a video like kind of discussing your negative points, I'm still that loyal to you. Okay, so bye guys. Let me show me how you receive this video. Accordingly, I may do a response video maybe. Bye.